Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba the Hinokami Chronicles comes to us from CyberConnect 2, the same developers behind the Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm games. The Hinokami Chronicles is a recreation of Season 1 of the anime as well as the Mugen Train movie following the events of the Final Selection, Functional Recovery Training and Mugen Train arcs. Playing throughout the story, basically beat for beat, the Hinokami Chronicles comes off as a beautiful recreation and a love letter to Demon Slayer fans, and also plays out as a fun, action-packed and visually satisfying video game experience. My name is Patrick Burow and this is Critics Play Games. Previously stated, Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba the Hinokami Chronicles is a video game that recreates the events of Season 1 of the anime as well as the Mugen Train movie, which is now having its arc redone throughout 7 episodes of Season 2. My name is Patrick Burow. If you didn't know who I am a guest on the Critics Play Games channel. Thank you to Zach, Leo, and Christian for inviting me on to talk about the Demon Slayer game that I've been looking forward to for a very, very long time. I'm a massive fan of the anime and it's something that I just watch all the time. It's one of the most accessible and rewatchable animes going today, and I have so far been really enjoying Season 2. And when I found out that CyberConnect 2 was going to be doing a Demon Slayer game that was going to be recreating essentially the events of Season 1 and the Mugen Train movie, I was very excited. There isn't much really new to this if you've seen the anime or the movie. It really is just the same events recreated in video game format, even specific scenes, cutscenes, and locations that are completely recreated, almost beat for beat, scene for scene, shot for shot, and line for line in the video game. Whether you're doing the English dub or the Japanese, it is still pretty much the exact same if you have watched the manga. The manga, I meant the anime. But at the same time, that doesn't necessarily mean it's shallow or nothing fun at all. If anything, I think that actually works in the game's favor. You get to encounter multiple bosses such as the Swamp Demon, Hand Demon, Rui and the Spider Family, Susumaru and Yahaba, Kyogai, Enmu, and Akaza, especially those who are massive fans of the movie. For me, the movie is my favorite movie of the entire year. It gave me everything I wanted, and it just, some of these boss battles just give you everything you want, and you really do feel like you're playing as either Tanjiro, Nezuko, Zenitsu, you name it, in this game throughout its about 10-hour story, which has cutscenes, as I said previously, that are essentially the anime scene for scene and shot for shot, almost just in a 3-dimensional cutscene form for a video game. That doesn't necessarily take away the fun or the investment towards the story. I think that it works in its favor because those who are Demon Slayer fans really just want to play this to feel like they are a part of this world, and I think in that way it does succeed. You get to play as an entire roster of characters ranging from Tanjiro, Nezuko, Zenitsu, Inosuke, Urokodaki, Rengoku, Sabito, Makamo, and more. Getting to explore and play around the world of Demon Slayer, going throughout multiple locations and maps where you get to do a lot of exploring, trying to pick up Kimetsu points to unlock costumes, music tracks, dialogue, quotes, as well as memory fragments, especially if you're like me and like to platinum and 100% complete games. If you want to platinum and 100% complete the game, grabbing all of these things, especially the memory fragments, is very vital to your gameplay experience, but also doing that and not just playing through the very linear story that doesn't have much more to offer than what you already know from the anime. Exploring the world in each location with very simplistic and uninteresting map designs, it at least helps you feel accustomed to the world and involved within the world that Demon Slayer creates. It makes you feel like you are breathing these locations and feel invested, although each one feels all too familiar, and its structure isn't anything particularly nuanced or non-linear. It is a very straightforward path, except for the few moments where you do have to follow the Demon Slayer scent trail, where if you're playing as Tanjiro, you can smell the scent of the demon and follow that trail to your next objective. But due to the map system in this game, it is very easy to plan out your route through each different location down particular alleyways to get to your objective point to continue and progress in the story. While this is a really cool feature and it makes it so much easier to find every collectible in the game, thank god, especially those memory fragments, which if it wasn't for that map, I personally wouldn't have found all of them. The map system does take away of your natural exploration of each map and location, but at the same time does make your collectible journey a lot easier. So in a way, it's sort of a complement to your gameplay experience depending on how you're playing, but also takes away a part of that experience at the same time. If you're like me, I'm a collector. I like getting all the collectibles. I love going throughout the game and trying to 100% complete it and get all my trophies. I'm that guy. So the map came in handy and actually drew out my gameplay experience trying to find all the Kimetsu points and all the memory fragments. But at the same time, I do have to reiterate that each map location and area, while it feels fun and really amazing to live and breathe in this world, it is unfortunately very linear in regards to its settings, very uninteresting, and sometimes there aren't even any collectibles to pick up, so it is just a straightforward path. But of course, this is a fighting game, and where it really does shine is the combat and the fighting mechanics. During the fight sequences or battles in Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, the Hinokami Chronicles, it has nice 3D locations and map designs where you get to go around in a circular location, evading and combating all these different enemies and bosses. Whether you're doing the versus mode or the story, every battle seems unique in its own way due to, as you're playing, learning the mechanics, getting to know them, learning different moves, therefore building up combos you can then create. The fighting sequences and their art style are absolutely incredible and feel directly ripped out of the anime in the best way possible. This is a major compliment to the game and its design, mainly for the reason that each location, each battle feels like, due to the art style, that you are a part of a big action scene within the anime. Everything feels so big and vibrant on this big epic scale, whether it's you doing the fighting yourself and doing these big combo attacks, to doing your ultimate art move when your meter builds up, to do this incredible move, which almost I'm going to compare to an X-Ray move, or what was it called? Final Blow, I think it was called, or Fatal Blow from Mortal Kombat X and Mortal Kombat 11. Or even then, if it's your final clashes within each battle with particular boss battles with an incredible animation incorporating quick time events that incorporate, once again, incredibly epic and beautiful looking art styles, action sequences, and moves to finish off each confrontation.
Constant flux! Ah! I did it! I just have to keep closing the distance! Hinokami Kagura! The opening thread! Please let me reach him!
Blood demon art. Exploding blood!
Impossible. The bond between Nezuko and I cannot! Be severed!
The QTEs are fun and give you at least a little bit of playability within those final clashes, but at the same time, it does take away a lot of it because I found myself missing a lot of the QTEs at point, or even then pressing them a little bit too early or not enough, but there isn't a sense of urgency or fear there that you're going to lose or suddenly fuck up the battle, mainly for the reason that I found myself still getting through them with these incredible action sequences and these final animations. I understand this might be the case of they didn't want it to really take away the flow and the pacing of these big climactic moments within the battles, but it does take away a lot of the urgency within these final moments within the battles. Of course though, a big thing with these fighting games is the combos and getting stuck in it. If you forget the block or don't parry, you get stuck in these ridiculously long and obnoxious combos that have you drain your health meter so quick, and it is quite frustrating. But something that I love that this game actually incorporated was a combo meter that drains very, very slowly, but at an easy enough pace that eventually you will no longer be able to continue that combo, giving the other player or even the enemy you are facing in the story a chance to collect themselves to then fight back. A lot of the time when you're doing the boss battles throughout the story in particular, you will find yourself, due to their charge up and everything, basically fleeing and finding a moment to attack. I found this in the case in particular during the battle with Rui, Enmu, and Akaza within the Mugen Train arc and the Spider Family arc. Or at least chapters, it's not really an arc in... yeah. But these were the battles I loved most, because at the beginning of the game, each battle, whether it's the side battles that you get throughout the story to try and give it a little bit of flow, to ease it out a little bit rather than just exploring all these linear locations that overall aren't too interesting aside from the exploration to collect any collectibles. It does have these little side battles that happen with random unnamed demons and enemies that you will face throughout, but at the same time, these boss battles were some of my favorite, the Rui, Enmu, and Akaza ones, for the reason that they were genuinely extremely difficult. I found myself fleeing and running around, blocking, parrying, trying to find a way to land a blow, and some of these battles actually took a very, very long time, or a lot of attempts, especially the Akaza and Enmu battles, which took me fucking forever. I cannot state that enough. These battles were hard and I loved it for that reason. But it doesn't take away either the emotional moments of the show, of the movie, for the reason that yes, this is essentially a recreation of the anime and of the movie, but at the same time, I genuinely really love what this game incorporates in regards to not taking away the emotional moments of the show. The moment with Rengoku at the end of the Mugen Train arc, or the moment which still gave me chills in the game where, you know, Tanjiro uses Hinokami for the first time and Nezuko uses the blood demon art, exploding blood and everything against Rui. Once again, fucking phenomenal, and it just, those emotional big epic moments are never taken away from the stellar animation, the shot-for-shot recreations, but also knowing when to focus on them within the cutscenes and when to balance that with the incredibly climactic and very epic battles that you have against all the different demons and enemies. Each demon and boss battle also plays out in their own different way. Enmu in regards to the power to put you to sleep, or Akaza with his really annoying combos, and Kyogai with the bongos and flipping the scenery. That was probably my favorite battle throughout the entire game. While nothing particularly different, it added that emotional moment into the final clash where Tanjiro appreciates his demon art, but also the flipping of the location and the map gave it probably the most interesting map design throughout the battle. Out of all the battles, the battle with Kyogai had the most interesting map design and play out of the actual battle, because you did have to have QTEs during the battle rather than just the final clashes for some big climactic move. In this, you have to do it to jump or to avoid anything in regards to big slams or tilting of the location and map, making it feel a little bit more nuanced, and you did have to plan it out. The final battles in the game and how the game progresses with its different boss battles do make you have to learn how the mechanics work and how the combos work, knowing your movesets for each character. While the buttons are essentially the same, you need to know what moves do what, how to combat and parry against. It is very satisfying in this game where you parry attack, by the way. It is so satisfying and took me quite a while to get used to, but at the same time it adds towards that replayability because you want to get better. And those final battles in the game, especially within the story, really complement that aspect of the game, wanting to learn more, get better, and you really do need to learn those mechanics, especially with the online versus battles or even the single player CPU battles. I also forgot to mention within the battles as well, there is a buddy system where you can do a buddy swap, a buddy flee where a buddy comes in and saves you when in the middle of a combo, or even a buddy attack where you can summon your buddy with the buddy meter to actually attack, and then you can go in for an attack yourself to get this incredible combo and to deal lots of damage. You do have to plan out and learn your attacks while also learning how to use your buddy in certain different situations, which made the battles a little bit more nuanced than I care to admit. Well, not care to admit, sorry, that's a wrong choice. That's a poor choice of words, I should say, but than I initially anticipated. There is a lot to these battles than I initially thought there would be, and I think it's absolutely brilliant. And while the platinum process in Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba the Hinokami Chronicles is a little bit time consuming trying to get your S rank in all of the chapters of the game, all 9 chapters, which includes a lot of side mission boss battles within the story tree in your menu, it is really fun to do, and you learn the different moves of each new boss that you face even in those side missions. They all play out very differently, adding once again to that replayability and every battle at least feeling different. You have to learn, you have to play it differently. Some battles are faster than others, where others you have to take your time. Some you have to block and defend more than you do with your offense in certain other battles. And it makes the playthrough and the completion process, it makes it a game that is really begging to be 100% completed, which is something I can't compliment enough. I love it when a game is begging to be completed like this. Even getting the S rank trophies for the Gourd Breaker minigame as well as the T-Splasher minigame were surprisingly a lot of fun, and while they took a few attempts, once you learn how the minigames played out and what you needed to do, they're actually a lot of fun. Even after I got the trophies, I kind of went back and played them a few times because they are fun to play. Overall, Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba the Hinokami Chronicles, while it is very familiar, very beat for beat the same as the anime and the movie and their arcs that they portray, it still keeps the emotion and the fun. Makes you feel like you are living and breathing in the world of Demon Slayer and the story and narrative it provides. While the map and the locations are very linear and uninteresting in design, the 3D animation style really complement everything within this game, even the uninteresting locations aside from the exploration for collectibles. Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba the Hinokami Chronicles is a game I've had a lot of fun playing, and even though I've completed it, I have gone back and done the story a couple times now and done a lot of the versus battles a lot more. This is one of the most fun fighter games I've played in a very long time, and I honestly can't wait to see what they do after Season 2 comes out. I don't know if they're going to update it into this game in regards to an advancing and more fleshed out story, or if it's going to be a DLC, or if they're going to do it with a separate game altogether later on after Season 2 runs its course, and maybe even another movie with a continued arc. I don't know, but I'm really excited to see what they do next, and I can't wait to see if they do adapt on this anime into future games, or even adapting it into this game with updates or DLC content, because you know I'm going to do it. I had a great time, although I do have some issues with the game. Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba the Hinokami Chronicles is one of my favorite games of the entire year, and one I can recommend to all. Whether you're an anime fan or not, it is still on its own a great fighting game with a great story. Whether you've witnessed the anime or not, I cannot compliment this game enough, and I cannot recommend it enough. For that reason, I'm going to give Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba the Hinokami Chronicles an 8 out of 10. Thank you all so much for watching this review of Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba the Hinokami Chronicles. My name is Patrick Burow. You can find me here on the YouTube platform just using my name, Patrick Burow, where I do movie reviews, movie reactions, and more. I love movies, and I want to thank Christian, Leo, and Zach once again for inviting me on as a guest host for Critics Play Games, where I get to talk about one of my favorite animes and its video game. But anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. If you did pick up Demon Slayer, I want to see what you guys have to say. Leave a comment down below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? I'm really interested to see what all of you have to say. Thank you to Zach, Leo, and Christian once again, and this has been Critics Play Games.